So given an option. So far, it's been fine, and the replacement project is well received. Okay, the Parkway sign is lit now, right, Tom? Yes. And that was a struggle for months, if not a year. Traffic safety is always an issue for us. And Tom has been working with the city of Snoqualmie. We have to remember that we have to work hand in hand with the city, and then we have to comply with state and federal and other regulations, anything we do on traffic. What's the latest, Tom, on anything breaking through on traffic safety? We've got a team from the city meeting with Steve and me and Scott Nohavik on Wednesday of next week to walk the site and talk about the feasibility of some of the traffic calming measures and sign changes, which will be moving of some signs and then some additional signage, such as the flag sign we want to have, which would say Snoqualmie Valley Hospital right there next to the Echo Glen sign. Very good, very good. We hope to remove from the table those items we had to table last time because of the absence of key people. So we're looking forward to our next meeting on February 27th. And our meetings are open to the public. There was no public present at this meeting. Public comment is welcome in all our committee meetings. So thank you, Madam President.
Is there any other questions for Commissioner Pollard? Okay, we'll move on. And do you have any action items?
Yes.
Yes.
For facility. Oh yes, the approval of the charter for the committee.
Yes.
That we discussed at the beginning. That requires formal board action.
Okay, so is there an approval? Do you want to did you make a motion?
I move the approval of the charter for the facilities committee as drafted by the staff and approved by the committee.
Is there a second? There's a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, it passes. Thank you, Commissioner Pollard. Okay, moving on. We are now at old business. We have none. We have no news business, and we do have time for public comment now. Your time is limited to 3 minutes, and if anybody has something they'd like to say to the public or to us, we would appreciate that. Going once? Going twice? No public comment. Okay, we're going to move on then. I guess that's it. Our next scheduled meeting will be.
Madam President.
Yes.
I just had an other that I thought of after the medical committee and Dr. Whitcock gave the reports, and that is, we have this opiate epidemic, and I know Narcan is used to deal with that. And what I was wondering is, since we're devoted to improving the valley, the health of all the people in the valley, regardless of jurisdiction, do we coordinate with the schools, the police, and anyone else that comes into contact with opiate abusers so that we know that they are properly trained, they've got the supplies, they've got the equipment? So, in other words, do we work together on this menace?
Actually, that is a item that's happening a lot in the community right now. There's a group from the Snoqualmie Valley Community Network that came out of the Key Leader Summit that's for drugs and alcohol abuse and also suicide. They tend to go together. There's representatives from City of Snoqualmie, from the fire department, from the school district, police, and I'm at that meeting. There's a couple teachers, I think, are friends of the youth are involved. There's been some, in fact, there was a meeting, I think, this last week in the City of Snoqualmie. There's been a lot of outreach. There's also some discussion when we were talking about a defibrillator at the park, that there were needles being spread in the park. So those topics are coming up a lot through the network, and Yeah, those things are, I think they're really present in everybody's mind, and right now people are collaborating to see what they can do and what kind of programs that are out there that would be useful, and what programs the school district can use, and also programs that help parents to identify if they have a young person starting to use drugs and where they can get intervention.
Would you agree that the hospital really should take a leadership role in that? I realize I've been to some of those meetings, and I think it's great that we're sharing information. But in terms of actually getting things done and having a plan for the defibrillator or
well, that's happening with the hospital district. Separate, but the hospital district and the fire department are working on that one. The drugs and alcohol, that's a community effort. It's not going to be just medical. It is an effort that takes the schools and impacts the schools a lot. It's an effort for parents because they have the youth. When's the time for intervention, when's not?
I'll just comment that the Snoqualmie Valley Community Network has done, I think, a really good job of focusing itself around these youth issues. And it's not just youth drug problems, but the network is also focused on the homelessness issue for youth, depression and suicide. And so we're very much in support and participate with the Snoqualmie Valley Community Network in those efforts. I will.
I think we have a nurse that attends from time to time.
We do.
An ER nurse.
And we do. And you know, I mentioned that we have greatly scaled back on our marketing, outreach, and sponsorship budget for this year, but that's one area that I did not cut back on because I feel like the network is really well positioned to rally multiple community resources around these issues. I will just comment that you talk about when we are made aware of anyone coming to the hospital with an opiate problem, with an overdose, we actually have very well-designed protocols for how we treat those patients and how we report that information. And Dr. Whitcup, can you just comment just for maybe half a minute on the system that we participate in with all other hospitals with respect to the reporting? I think that might be of interest.
Sure. So we are participating in a program called EDDIE, E-D-I-E, Emergency Department Information Exchange. And EDDIE has recently also joined with Washington, the PMP, the Prescribed Medications Program. And so that is where all of the narcotics that are prescribed go into the PMP. All patients who go into ERs are alerted through EDDIE. So if we have a patient who comes into our emergency department and they have either been to another ER in the last 6 months, or they've crossed a threshold for narcotics prescriptions received, we get an alert as they're coming into the ER. Flip side, they come into our ER, we're getting ready to prescribe them something, and we just want to check on their status. We can go into EDDIE. We more often go into go into the PMP and check and make sure that they do not have multiple prescriptions out there for narcotics, because they may not have flipped the threshold, but they've got small amounts all around, or you can see that they're circling and making efforts in a lot of different locations. So that's part of what we do. If I can go on and talk about one other thing that we have, is we're one of the first hospitals in the Puget Sound area who put an active program in place of dispensing at no charge Narcan to take out into the community. So anyone who comes into our emergency department who either we feel are at risk, they came in demonstrating that they're at risk because they're an overdose, or they're there for an entirely different reason, but in the course of conversation, they talk to us about the risk that they feel like that somebody in their sphere is so the common example is a mother who says, my son is running with the wrong crowd. I'm scared to death that one of these days I'm going to walk into the family room and one of his buddies are going to be dead on my couch. All of those people, we will put Narcan in their hands to take home. And we have a highly structured program where they are, before they can get it in their hands, they have to go through an educational session. There's a video that they watch. They have direct one-on-one education from one of their nurses. and they have a teach-back demonstration that they know how to use the product. And then we will send them out with product in hand, and that's the part that's unique, is we will send them out with product in hand as opposed to a prescription that they should take to the pharmacy to fill. We also have all of our clinics are set up not to dispense, but if anyone comes in and says, I've been a holder of Narcan in hand and I'd like a renewal of this, no questions asked, they will provide a renewal for that. And QFC locally has also put themselves fully available to dispense the Narcan. So as soon as they get a prescription, they're going to be a distributor. They are committed to always having it on hand.
Are you satisfied with the availability of Narcan
Yes.
in the schools?
I have no insight into the Narcan in the schools.
That's what I was kind of suggesting,
So,
that we take a leadership role, since our job is to provide for the wellness of the whole community, regardless of jurisdictions.
we'd be happy to reach out to them and ask them if they would like us to come in and teach their staff how to administer it. We've done that with the fire department already and the local police, and told them that we have the educational program if they are interested in us teaching their staff how to be an administrator. It's quite simple. It's intended for layperson application.
And most of the schools have police presence all day long. So the police who are trained are oftentimes on campus, almost, I think, for most of them, all the time.
Yeah, and I don't mind at all. I'm in regular contact with the medical services at the school. Their lead nurse. I can gladly.
And just one more point regarding the Snoqualmie Valley Community Network, and that is, perhaps at some point we can have Laura Smith or others come in and talk to the board about where things stand and how we can be helpful, how we can cooperate more, etc. Because they're doing a wonderful job on a very low budget.
I have one question related to the asset mapping again. Can I ask Steve a quick question?
As long as Steve's still here.
He's still
It's
here.
okay, I'm capable,
I-
yeah.
You know, looking at the land value here, how did you break that down, the land value? Well, we own 2 parcels of land. How did you break them down?
You're talking about between the parcels, is what you're saying?
Yeah, the East Campus and the one